Hello everybody. It is Thursday and we are cooking live together today. So waiting for a couple of you to pop on here. I am excited to make this recipe. Anybody see what it is? Yes, are you excited as well? I hope so. So today I am making, get this shared a couple places. I am making barbacoa burrito bowls with cilantro lime rice. It's gonna be delicious. I'm so excited. So let me know when you pop on here. If you're catching the replay, just type in replay. The way Facebook algorithms work, if you comment, you're gonna see more content from me in the future because Facebook says, oh, they like to see when she shares recipes. So make sure you comment whatever you say, ask questions. That is what I am here for. But let's get started. So we are using the multi-cooker, which is our electric pressure cooker. If you have not seen our multi-cooker before, you're in for a treat. A couple years ago, we had what was called the quick cooker. So you might remember me using that, or you've heard somebody talk about a quick cooker. And this is the multi-cooker, which is quick cooker 2.0. It does even more than the quick cooker did. So down inside of here, I have a little bit of oil, and I am gonna go ahead and add in my beef for this recipe, and then I'm gonna salt and pepper it. But we wanna go ahead and start searing that meat. Searing any of your meats, proteins, is just gonna help with extra flavor on it. So you definitely want to be searing your meat. It's really gonna enhance the flavor a lot. So now that I have that down in there, I'm actually gonna go ahead and salt and pepper it. I'm just gonna pull this out a little bit. This is a 6-quart stainless steel pot. In case any of you are wondering how big the pressure cooker is. I'm using our salt and pepper grinder set. Here, there's the salt, and I'm gonna add in some fresh ground pepper. Help season that beef. Now you can use a larger cut of meat. Really, you can use whatever you want. The nice thing about using a pressure cooker is that it's really gonna do a good job of making that meat nice and tender. So this is actually stew meat. This is what I had on hand, so that's what I am using. I think the original recipe calls for chuck roast or something like that. This works fine too. So we're just gonna let that start to sear in the bottom of our pot. Meanwhile, we're gonna make the sauce that's gonna go in it. So this is not only a pressure cooker, you can do your beans, you can do your rice, you can sterilize in here, you can proof your bread, you can make yogurt, you can do a cheesecake in here. It has so many functions. It really is a huge time saver. Yesterday I made soup in here. I love doing soup in here because it cuts the cook time in like not even half. It's just like a 1/10 of the time it takes. You can do an entire roast and potatoes and everything in like an hour or something. Once we set this, it's only gonna cook for 20 minutes. So while that's searing, I'm gonna go ahead and open up my can of chipotle peppers. So these are the whole chipotle peppers in adobo sauce. So we're gonna use 2 of these peppers and some of the sauce in our, it's like a sauce that's gonna go down on top of this beef. And what I'm really excited about is I'm actually gonna make my rice in here with the meat at the same time, but they're not gonna be touching at all, which is very cool. So I'm gonna show you our ceramic pot that goes on top of this. So we just go all the way around the top of the can there. I'm gonna lift that off without leaving any sharp edges at all. I'm going to add just a couple of those peppers. Of course, if you like stuff spicier, you can add more. I'm not going to. Maybe one more small one. I'll go a little bit daring. okay? So I have the rest of this to use in another recipe, or I could always freeze it and use it later so that we're not wasting anything. So we've got our peppers in there. I'm also gonna add in 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar and a 1/2 cup of chicken broth. And then, that to the side. Then I'm gonna add in the juice of a lime. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut that in half and then juice it with our citrus press here. Works just like this. Cut it in half, put it in cut side down. And then we just squeeze that together and all the juice is gonna come out. Just like that. Show you what it does. It turns that inside out. It uses so much of the lime juice. This is one of those tools that took me a long time to get because I thought for sure I didn't need that. Also, your lime or lemon or orange does not fit in there the way it looks like. It looks like it would fit down in there. If you do that and squeeze real hard, you'll get juice in the eyes. So that's why you want to do it cut side down. That's where the juice comes out. All right, so that's our second half of the lime. We have a second lime here I'm going to use for what's going to go on our rice once it comes out of the quick cooker or multi-cooker, whatever you want to call it. All right, so that's all in there. I'm going to also add in some garlic, and then we're going to use the manual food processor, here's the lid here, to mix this all up. Mostly we're cutting up that pepper. So we're going to use our garlic press. Put it down inside of here. This is just a clove of garlic. A clove comes off a bulb. So if a recipe calls for 2 to 3 cloves, don't add 2 to 3 bulbs. Ask me how I know that. Ask me how. You guys, I was the worst cook when I started doing this business. And that was 18 years ago this month. 18 years I've been doing this. So if you think that this is not sustainable, it is. You can make this work with any schedule. And I've made it work with all kinds of different schedules. I've worked full-time and done this. I have worked part-time. I've raised kiddos, all kinds of stuff. All right, second garlic clove down inside of there. Scrape that off. And we're gonna put the lid on. Now this has a 3-bowed blade, which means it's gonna continue to pull everything up and through and mix it instead of just mixing the bottom over and over again. I'm gonna mix that beef a little bit to sear the other side. So we just have this on the sear function, which means it's like having a really hot pan, but I don't have to use a separate pan and dirty something else before I use my pressure cooker. We can do it all in one pot. All right. Ooh, I had a little too much liquid in there. Probably should have done the peppers first. You know, nobody said I'm a perfect chef. Just a pampered one. All right. I think that's good enough. All right, so once that's done, which it looks like it is, we just want a couple minutes for the beef to get some color on it. I'm gonna go ahead and add this in. Perfect, it cut up those peppers just enough. And by the way, the bowl and the blade are both dishwasher safe. And then the lid is gonna be a hand wipe only because we don't want water to go inside the mechanism that spins in there because it's really hard to get that water back out, okay? And then I'm also gonna add in some of our chipotle rub. You could also do our Southwestern rub, that would be really good. I'm gonna do about a tablespoon of that, which the lid to our seasonings is a tablespoon. Nice little trick to use there. All right, let me make sure I got everything in here. Yes, so we are ready with the beef part. That's all gonna cook. But what we're gonna do now is add our rice. So the multi-cooker comes with this little rack. All you're gonna do is set that down inside of there, and that's gonna separate that bottom meat and juice from this top part. Now we're gonna add in one of my favorite parts or accessories, or what I like to call necessities for our pressure cooker, and that is the ceramic pot. You definitely want the ceramic pot to go with your pressure cooker, your multi-cooker or quick cooker. It fits in both actually. This ceramic pot is where we're going to cook something separately. This could be vegetables separately, or it could be your rice, your potatoes, all kinds of different things you can do in the ceramic pot. So it comes with this cradle, the pot, and the silicone cover. That's the part that you want to go with your pressure cooker. All right, so in here I have about 1.5 cups of rice. Now the trick is you have to rinse your rice really, really good. Like rinse it, rinse it, rinse it, rinse it, rinse it. What happens is as rice hits itself, like so grains of rice run into each other when it's put on the shelf and when it's put in your cart and when it is in the bag and you dump it out. Every time it runs into each other, it creates starch. So what you want to do is wash away as much of that starch as you can, because it's going to continue to do that as it cooks. As it's cooking in the liquid, the grains of rice are going to run into each other and create more starch. So get rid of as much starch as you can by rinsing your rice really well. I'm using a white basmati rice. You can use all kinds of different things. It is our all-time favorite rice. 1.5 cups of that rinsed really well. And then I'm gonna add in 2 cups of chicken broth to that. Let me give that a little stir here. We'll grab this. Just to make sure my rice is fully covered by that liquid. Perfect. And then just a little drizzle of olive oil. Again, that's just gonna help keep that rice moving around as it cooks. That's just like a teaspoon, not a ton. And then I'm gonna cover it with the silicone lid. So we're just gonna stretch that over the ceramic pot here. I'm gonna take it out of the cradle first because I can't do this. All right, so this lid actually has little vent holes on it, and that's gonna help releasing that steam as the rice cooks. So just stretch that over, then down into the cradle. Cats in the cradle and the silver spoon. Little boy blue, the man. No? Okay. Now what we can do is just lower that down into the pot and on top of that little rack that's in there, and then the beef and liquid is underneath of it. So that's ready to go. These little handles just lay down and we're ready to put the lid on it. Pressure cooking is not hard. You just need a few little tips on how to get started. Don't be scared. This is so safe to use. Don't be scared like the old pressure cookers that could explode or anything like that. It has a locking mechanism under it that will not allow the lid to come off until the pressure has been completely released. So safe to use. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and cancel because remember we were on the sear function, and now I'm gonna go to see all these different settings here: custom, sear, egg, poultry, beef, pork, seafood, white rice, whole grains. You can make your rice in here in 4 minutes. You can make your beans, like dried beans, instead of getting those canned beans that are more expensive. And they are like coated in an enzyme that doesn't let them break down, which is why you get some indigestion with the beans, okay? You could do soup, beans, dessert, steam, slow cook, sous vide, yogurt, or sterilize. You guys, this thing is thebomb.com. And this month, January 2024, it's actually on sale, $100 off. So if you need more info about that, make sure and message me. So we are gonna go to the beef pork setting. Now that's an automatic 35 minutes, but we only need 20 minutes for this. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and I'm gonna lower it down to 20 minutes and hold and it's gonna start. So it's gonna start building pressure. There's a little pie chart here, and it's gonna build pressure all the way up. Once that pressure has been completely built up, this little red indicator is gonna pop up. You know it's under pressure. Under pressure. Anybody else sing while they cook? No? No? Okay. Then it's gonna start the countdown from 20 minutes down to 0. Once it gets to 0, guess what happens? Nothing. No emergency. It just goes into an automatic warm setting and slowly starts releasing the pressure by itself, naturally. Or you can manually release the pressure, which is what I'm gonna do. It doesn't need to sit there. So I'm going to release the pressure, and that's just hitting that little steam button there, letting the pressure release, gonna take the lid off. And then I'm going to take that rice out, and we're gonna add in the cilantro lime part of the rice. So let me show you real quickly what I'm gonna add to that. I'm gonna throw my cilantro here in my measuring cup I used. I'm going to chop it up real quickly with our kitchen shears. So that just releases all of the goodness of the cilantro. And then I'm going to go ahead and juice that other lime, add in my garlic. And the reason I don't have to put this in with the rice is because as soon as this hits that hot rice, it's gonna like instantly cook or heat as much as it needs to. You don't need to cook it in there with the rice. All right, so we've got our lime. You put the lime in the coconut. We're gonna put that in here. Juice our second lime. Like that. Oh, my taste buds are already watering because this is so good. We have our lime. We're also gonna add in just a drizzle of our oil. It's about 2 teaspoons I did. Some salt. Some pepper. And then our garlic. So we're doing a little bit more garlic here. So if you guys need some amazing recipes like this, I put together like a January newsletter with all kinds of healthy, easy meal ideas, because I know what it's like after the holidays. It gets tough, right? You feel like you've cooked for 900 years and you don't necessarily want to do any more cooking. So I have a bunch of recipes for you guys, so you can just comment recipes and I'll get those sent to you. I'm also doing a little Super Bowl giveaway package, so a fun little package of products that I'm gonna give away to somebody. All you gotta do is answer a couple questions and you get an entry into it. So if you want in on that, make sure you comment below. I don't remember what I put. Super Bowl. I think that's what you should comment to get in on that. And if you need any help with getting any products or anything like that, just holler at me. I'm also running a mystery host party in my VIP group where you can be selected as the host of the party and earn all the rewards. Make sure to type in mystery if you want to be a part of that. And that's about it. So that is our mixture that's gonna go on the rice. Once the rice is done, come up to pressure, cook 20 minutes. I'm gonna release the steam, add this to the rice, fluff the rice around, and we are ready to eat dinner. I'm gonna serve it with maybe some cheese, some avocados, some green onions, maybe make a little fresh salsa to go with it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know if you have any questions and we'll talk soon. See ya.